recording in progress.
Okay. A little bonus for coming to class today. I'll show you some test questions that will be very similar to the questions that are in the So let's see. See if you can answer these. Because these are all questions that we've kind of gone through, gone through the material. So take a look at this one, number one. And what do you think the answer is?
Extensions. I don't need that much time.
How many say A? B? C? D? Now that was all the options. So we'll try it again. You have to answer. Just like in an exam. So you have to answer. Okay. A. No one says A. B. C. Or D. And the answer is C. Because this first one had
Great skin.
Thanks. I got Old Spice body wash to thank for that.
He used to rely on me for
The second one. Third one, rates are higher than no fault. No, they're lower.
What the hell are you doing out there, little boy?
Which is not true.
All right, so pitch black, not only due to the fact that it's a late lift. So
Time to say C.
What the hell are you doing out there, little boy?
all right, so pitch black, not only due to the fact that it's a late lift, but also, is this the final daylight savings? The last one is finally kicked in. So, I mean, it was fucking pitch black at, 5:30. So, 7:30 now. The gym closes at 9:30. More than enough time for a pretty solid leg day. So, I'm kind of starting to think that I might want to back off on at least hamstring volume. I'm starting to think that I might want to cut down from my sort of arbitrary 8 sets to maybe kind of transition the style of these lifts to obviously doing hard sets, an even mix of, really heavy and then light and squeezing. But just call it by the time that I feel like I'm, pretty fully pumped. And, to an extent, that is kind of a subjective thing. Like, oh, am I really fully pumped? Oh, well, it looks like it. But I don't know. It feels pretty objective. It's like how good of a pump you can get. So you pretty much know when you're at peak pumpedness. I'm really starting to think that might be a little bit of a solid cue that you've done enough. At least enough to, fully stimulate whatever muscle you're targeting. So let's say I do, 3 sets of laying leg curls and then maybe 2 sets of RDLs, and they were hard sets, and then I feel like I was fully pumped, and like I know that over the course of the next hypothetical 3 sets, I probably wouldn't get any more pumped. I'm starting to think that those extra 3 may just be kind of fluff work. So, to an extent, I do want to be open to trying new stuff. I do want to constantly, be open to changing my technique. But in the same sense, I kind of have this sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, kind of subconscious decision making in my mind that's like, okay, you've been doing 8 sets for every workout for a while and you've been getting good results. Just keep doing that. Don't change it. I think that holds a lot of people back in their training routines in terms of actually improving them.
So take a look at this
Because,
one, and then we'll go through.
if something is giving you results and it is working or it has worked before,
So then you've got
if somebody, let's say they wrote out a workout split, they had a workout routine, they did it for 3 years, and over the course of that year 0 to year 3, they did make some pretty serious improvements, then, that's 3 years of time where, in their mind, them doing that specific routine got them results. So even if it stops working, even if they kind of plateau and they aren't really getting any, month-to-month improvements, they're still going to keep doing it just because in their mind, that is what works. If somebody gets jacked doing CrossFit full body workouts, that's what he's going to say works. If somebody gets jacked doing like fucking, let's get as crazy as Mike Mentzer, 2 lifts a week with like 3 or 2 sets, then he's going to say that works.
But understand, because we're talking about Medicare and Medicaid, some of the proposals are out there right now to basically raise the retirement age for Social Security, to raise the age of Medicare, to limit Medicaid that goes out. Also, there's proposals to means test Social Security.
Right. So a lot of shit
You would look at the chart based on the income.
works, but what I'm really trying to say is don't get too attached to the routine that you're doing now. Always kind of be open to the idea that there is better ways to go about it. And just knowing that won't do you any good. You actually have to try new shit. So I think I'm going to do this quad day a little differently. And I'm basically going to go until, satisfaction. I'll do as many sets of hamstrings as I need to get fully pumped, which historically has usually been around 5 or 6. And then quads, I'll see. I'll see how that works out. Maybe 2-3 sets of leg extensions, and then let's say I do 2 sets of really good squats and I really push it. Maybe that's enough. I think I'm going to try it like this for a little bit of time and see how it works out. So, unrelated to that, if you've noticed, kind of my nose has been a little bit extra red, kind of been breaking out just a touch. I would not say that's purely diet related. I've definitely been doing more processed sweets and dairy products, which I'd say if my main goal was to reduce sebum production, that's the oil that kind of causes acne, then I'd be a little bit more preoccupied with that. But really the only change is I stopped doing Accutane. I've been doing that pretty much this whole year. So I kind of want to see what my level is at for a little bit.
So would you say vacation? So if you have a credit card, is it okay? Is it okay? Or under what conditions is it okay to go to debt to go to vacation?
And if I start breaking out all over my shoulders and my back, then, definitely gonna need some more time. But if it's just kind of in the face, I think a 3-step proactive will do me good. I gotta get back in that routine that I was doing for a while. But we'll see how that progresses. But I think you can predict my next statement. No matter what, that's not gonna fucking affect the pump. Right? So, just clarifying that for any who is particularly curious. So, oh god, I forgot the beta-alanine. Whatever. Will that affect the pump? Maybe. Beta-alanine is more of a systemic supplement, like how creatine, it's not like you take creatine one day and you get the benefits from it then. It's all about having it fully built up in your system over time. So it's not like you take beta-alanine and you get a systemic, immediate improvement in your endurance, in your reps. It's kind of just a longer thing. So that will only affect the pump, maybe just a little, maybe barely a little. But yeah, enough chit chat. Let's get started with freaking hamstrings. Laying hamstring curls, I can almost guarantee it. So after doing a couple sets of single leg calf raises, and then progressively moving up the stack. So I did like 10 reps with half the stack. Actually, no, not even 10. I did like 5. Took a minute. Then I went a little heavier. Did a couple. Took a minute. A little heavier, a little heavier, a little heavier. So sure, I've done like probably about 20 reps in preparation to this exact moment. But I don't feel like I've done any actual work. Like, all I'm doing is exposing myself to the fucking weight. And now that I'm fresh, I do want to throw around a lot of weight. Now, as I've kind of been saying, like yesterday in the arm day, I didn't start off with heavy pushdowns. I started off with light squeezing tricep extensions. So I'm starting to think starting off the lift with as much weight as you can do is not necessarily the best method, but it's not a bad method anyway. It just fits in the criteria of a working set that's either really heavy and you're focusing on like the fatigue that moving a lot of weight is going to give you, or a lighter set where you're kind of focusing more so on getting that burning sensation. So since I'm kind of gonna call the lift when I feel like I've fully, stimulated my fucking hamstrings, I'm gonna make sure that every set is pretty much as hard as I can fucking go. Now, of course, I want to do that all the time, but it doesn't hurt to. Actually, it definitely helps to reiterate that to yourself in your mind every lift. So enough chit chat. Let's just throw this thing around to some mind slip.
Governments are different. Governments are different for a couple of reasons. So, like for us, if we have a job and we go into a session, then what happens is that we lose our job or that we stay the same. Our income stay the same, but things go well, it's harder for us to switch jobs and get more money. It is something harder for people to whereas when things go well, things go well. So they
Okay. Oh. All right. Not a bad starter. And even though those last reps looked nothing like the first reps, I think that I fucking hit the hamstrings hard. I've kind of heard that statement before, like your last rep should look like your first rep in a perfect set. I don't know if I really fucking believe that, man. If I ended that set after I couldn't fully bend my legs, then what would I have gotten 5 reps? And you tell me, which set would be better? If I did that set and called it at 5 reps, or the one that just went down? I call that a no-brainer. But let's keep throwing these around.
So if the government wants to borrow money, so we just issue treasury bonds, and people buy the treasury bonds. What happens when people stop buying? Well, Olivia, a few years ago was they got into financial trouble because they kept the government's
All right.
more than they could do in the past.
Let's do a few
So
more.
they decided what they were going to do was they were just going to basically just print money. So they literally print money. And so at the time, the biggest import in the country was the paper, and money was printed on it because it was especially German paper. And so they were using so much, they were printing so much money, is that people had that the government had to import all this. And that prices were rising so high that people would go into a restaurant and that they would order something, and by the time that they got the bill, the prices would have gone up because they're just raising prices. So in case you don't have, what people started doing is that they television sets. So as soon as they got they would go down and they get television sets. And then they just keep it, and when they want to buy something, they would go down and they'd sell the television set. And they take the money and buy something. As soon as they got paid, they just turn around and buy the television. because money was so, the prices were going so fast, money was just becoming worthless. Value of resource. Today, they buy it
All
every
right.
day. Tomorrow, they buy it. So therefore, you need to
Actually,
so people are putting in,
I'm teetering on just calling hamstrings right there.
in situations like
I mean,
so that's called hyperinflation.
dude, I mean, that is
And
fully
what
pumped.
happens in situations like that is that
So the question is,
they can't sell enough of
in
them.
my mind, I kind of want to go a little heavier, or I want to do a couple more sets. Is that going to be more beneficial, or am I just tiring myself out unnecessarily? I'll ponder it for just a moment.
Mobile games are going big.
The US, the US is
Play-
seen as a
All right, yeah. So, judging by a couple of factors, the main ones probably being fatigueness, pumpedness, and I guess my subjective perception of whether or not it was effective. But yeah, I'm gonna call hamstrings at 4 sets. They're fully pumped, they fucking burned. And honestly, they felt pretty similar to as if I were to have done another 4, or maybe a couple of RDLs. So it's not like I think 4 is, well, I guess it kind of is like I think 4 is the magic number. I think for the next little bit of time, instead of just aiming for my 8 arbitrary sets for all muscle groups, I think I'm gonna kind of go about it in such a way where it's like, you know, for chest, maybe do 2 or 3 sets of heavy pressing, and then maybe do 2 or 3 sets of cable flies or cable pressing type work, really good squeeze. And then if I feel like I'm fully pumped, I'll just clock out right there. Because in my mind, I think that that may be a solid indicator that I've stimulated the muscle enough to induce growth, or in a cutting context, to induce muscle maintenance. And going further beyond that is only going to dip into my fucking recovery process. You know, I feel like I'm Mike Mentzer reincarnated, man. I see the matrix. Now, whether or not I'm going to get better results training like this than I would from my arbitrary 8-set method, I don't know. I guess we'll see. You know, I'll see how I feel. Maybe I do like the next 3 workouts like this, and I say, okay, this is just fucking stupid. I'm going back to my 8-set method. But to have gone through the process of trying something new, even if it didn't necessarily work, I still think you come out with a better understanding of what you're doing, why you're doing it, what works, what doesn't, and just probably having a better idea of coming up with what may work better next. Like, let's say I do this for 3 weeks and I say, this is fucking stupid, I'm going back to my other method. Then I'll probably think, okay, what else can I change about my training? You know, I think people think about the training last, and they think about a specific split or like specific workout muscle group combinations. I think training in its very rawest form of how it's organized and set up and how you go about it for your own specific physique, I think people put that on the back burner. They don't even think about it. But enough of this rant, man. I'm mid-workout. I can't fucking lose my pump. So single leg, solid weight, kind of an in-between of like really heavy but also squeezing. And I'll see what I want to do next.
So the problem is that if you don't, a lot of restrictions are going to be things that you would hope that they're certain instead what's going to happen is that the more it becomes popular, so the easier just like cut the tasks all the time. So So what's the way out of this? Well, one way out of this is they just basically means what the government did is they just that the Treasury would send out the Treasury bill, the Reserve would buy them out. So it's kind of like the government, the Treasury needs to raise money, and so they say, okay, we're going to issue, we need all this money to come in, and the Federal Reserve Board, who's the one that actually controls it, they just bought them up. So that's what's happening. And that's what they did is they dropped interest rates to 0, so that interest rates on borrowing money was almost. So they basically made money freely available to banks, which is why there's been so low interest rates for all these different years. The problem with that has always been is that there's been leaking inflation. And so one of the reasons why we're seeing inflation right now is because for years they've been in this period of just kind of easy money. And you always knew at some point that they were going to have to come to a tighten up. And the way you tighten up is in raise interest rates. And so as soon as inflation started to come up, they started raising interest rates. So that's why you're seeing all this inflation prices change. And also seeing interest rates go down. Just because they did this long period. But that's one way. The other way is to raise taxes. So everyone wants to raise $1 trillion. So, the problem with raising taxes is that, like, if they said, well, we're going to get rid of the deficit by taxing everyone 100%.
Let's do the same way,
This year,
but
everything's going to be taxed.
this set, instead of burning out by doing those slow controlled squeezing reps, I'm just gonna really try to throw it around and just thrash my quads. And after this, we might even just move on to squats. But I'll see how it feels.
Raise taxes is that you really have to be effective, especially if you get to tax middle class people. So what happens is that they that costs you a ton. So really the only way out is to tax because the other 1%. And so their consumption is not there. So it's going to hurt the economy. This is why you hear those who pay taxes, understand there's one, they have that tax 100%. It's not that it should be fairness, but just the people who tax just the raise taxes, regular people who raise taxes, then don't go into recession, and then the tax rate. But here's the problem. Is that right now, you think about we're $1.3 trillion a day. That means that that's about $9,000 per person. Just
Let's go fucking squat.
so they want to break even. They're not going to deficit. Perhaps everyone will see this. So that's why, when you start thinking about tax, is that, you're supposed to become, paying off your debts, the balanced budget. And just by raising taxes, it means they have to raise taxes. Or you have to raise taxes are really on people who's going to $500,000 a year. Or, one of the proposals for Elizabeth Warren is that you have to not income or wealth. Because people who have not, they're typically pretty good.
Fuck.
Because they don't have any. So what they do is they put it shows that there's losses because they don't. So the proposals that work. So you pay a certain amount. If you're above $500,000 or it's 10 million. I think it's above 10 million, you pay a certain percentage of every year. So that's one.
Oh, fuck.
The point is that you said, well, we want to pay off this $31 trillion. Is that
Okay. I think that one could have potentially gone back up. Fuck. Oh yeah, I'm getting lightheaded after that one, dude. Holy shit. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you pay this one.
Let's cut to either leg extensions again or one more set of squats.
Okay, so that's the problem with taxes. That's why.
Oh my god. Fuck. Holy shit. Okay, so I have to finish the set to actually know for sure, but I think I'm gonna finish quads with this set of leg extensions. I mean, I feel fully fucking pumped. I feel pretty fucking stimulated. I definitely did something. I mean, look at me, I'm fucking drenched. Not that being sweaty means you had a good workout, but whatever. So I'm just gonna make sure I go as crazy as possible here, and then we'll either do one more or we'll just go check the
No one
pump.
wants to have a tax case. So therefore, everyone in this area is saying, yeah, sure, I'd like to see my name on the tax. And so that's the idea. Was where he's tripping around. As he said, oh, taxes ought to be higher lower. And so you have to vote on the for the tax. And didn't work. But it's also why Biden's influence that it should be, right? Unless the whole idea of you're going to invest now to make better roads,
Yeah.
internet, and all
Let's go check the pump.
with the thought means that if you do
This isn't Charmin. No wonder I don't feel as clean.
Here's Charmin Ultra Strong.
Ah, my bottom's been saved.
With its diamond weave text.
Let's get the exposure down to a freaky level. Let's fucking get these pants off. So, remind me not to fucking forget these. Last leg day I was in here, when I took the pants off to do the pump check, I fucking forgot them. They're still in the lost and found. I gotta go in there and find them. They were kind of the gray, nylon looking ones. But there is something to fucking discuss here. But let's go through the mandatories first. Whew. And also, let me fucking catch my breath. Goodness. So, I definitely think I'm more than fucking, half as pumped as normal. Honestly, this is just as pumped as my fucking quads ever are.
So right now we have
Oh, good. Yeah, what do you think? I'm not fucking dissatisfied at all. Oh, man.
Well, if you cut all of the things, so we have no more arm.
Oh,
That saves you about 6.
Oh, shit. I mean, they feel fucking just as tense as ever.
All of Medicaid.
Oh.
Saves you about 7.
And yeah, I've been sitting down, hamstrings fucking hanging down.
All of Medicaid.
So
That's about
that lift
So if you cut Medicaid,
was half of the volume that I normally do for fucking legs. Instead of my typical 8 sets of hamstrings, which I kind of just picked because it felt right. I stopped hamstrings at set 4 because I felt a solid burn, fully pumped. I'm starting to think that after I reach that level, there's no benefit in actually going further than that. And then same thing with quads. Now, I didn't just pick 4 on quads because I did 4 for hamstrings. Or, well, I don't know, maybe I did subconsciously. But I stopped quads at 4 because I felt like I was fully pumped and pretty fucking well stimulated. So, this is kind of what I'm imagining. I was just talking to another guy in here, I forget his name. You know the deal. You know your buddies in the gym, and you could see them for fucking years and just never know who the fuck they really are. But who cares? I feel like knowing somebody but not knowing their name is more natural. It's like a wolf doesn't recognize another wolf by their name. They recognize them by their physical form. But let's stop talking about that fucking stupid shit. So look, listen to this. This is what I've been imagining. Here is the plane of 0 gains. This right here is set number 0. And let's just say this is set number 20. Now let's say all these working sets are hard, legit, close to failure, effective sets, right? Let's say this is the bar, At set 0, 0 gains. At set 1, a little more. Set 2, a little more. Set 3, a little more. And I think around this 6 to 10 range, or maybe even fucking less than that, let's say even, just to make sure I probably hit it within this region, I'd say even maybe 4 to 10. I'm starting to think that that is the peak effectiveness. And to do any more hard sets than that, whatever that specific peak is just to limit your recovery ability. Like let's say I
get paid, you'll look me up and you'll see that there's like little tabs for Social Security payments. So what that means is that they're taking out money from your social security tax, and that they're giving it to people who are older.
Came in here and I did, or well, let's just fucking play God. I know for a fact, omnipotently, I know every detail of every muscular fiber of my being, that if I go in and push myself hard, if I do 5 sets, that will give me the most muscle stimulus for my quads, and no more, no less. So if I were to do 10, I'd probably get a similar amount of muscular activation and stimulus, but then my body has to recover from those 5 extra sets, which really didn't do me any good. You know, like, look at this from an extreme standpoint. Do you think you're gonna get fucking big if you do 100 hard sets per muscle group every time you hit it? Let's say you hit it twice a week. No fucking chance. No fucking chance, dude. I sincerely doubt you're gonna make legitimate gains doing that. So let's say that's the far side of the spectrum. And then obviously zero gains. So that implies somewhere in that little middle region is perfection. And that could be determinant on like your sleep, your food, how rested you are, whatever. So who knows? Maybe if I was extra full and extra rested and just full of energy for whatever reason, then maybe I would have done 6 sets for hamstrings, because I would have felt in my mind like, okay, I can get a better pump than this if I do 2 more sets. So obviously I kind of sound like I believe this to be 100% true. And to an extent, I do have a little bit of fucking belief in it, but that's all it is, you know, fucking belief. So I think I'm going to try this style for the next at least few weeks. So basic premise, instead of doing my 8 arbitrary sets, I'm going to do my workout, you know, in a similar fashion to what I've been doing. Chest is still going to start off with heavy pressing. You know, arms is still going to start off with tries, with push downs, and biceps is still going to be curls. But instead of just getting to that arbitrary set number 8, I'm going to call the lift when I hit kind of what I imagine as a peak pump, and I feel like I've, you know, fully stimulated the muscle. Now, this is not a fucking blanket statement recommendation, but, you know, you got to think, I've come to this kind of conclusion where this is what I want to try for a little period of time after already doing 4 years of all sorts of other shit. So maybe this, like, let's say this style of training works perfectly for me. Maybe it only works because I've had all this training beforehand, or because whatever I specifically do that you don't. So you got to figure this shit out for yourself. You know, when I tell you, or when I talk about tips and I give fitness advice and I say shit like, oh, you know, you're going to be pretty fucking carved up if you eat this bowl of cereal, whatever else. You know, even though I do say that like in second person, like I'm talking to you, really, most of the things that I've learned, it's just from doing it myself and seeing what works for me. So I think maybe I need to be a little bit more clear with the fact that a lot of the tips that I give are based purely on my own personal experience. But some of the shit is blanket statements, you know. Obviously, if I were to pinpoint something I say that, which I do fucking stand behind, which will work for you, is calories in, calories out. You need a surplus to grow, a deficit to diet down. But the split, the lifts, the pumps, times of day of training, that's on you to figure out, you know. And the information is out there. So, I mean, if you want it, you can get it. But it's going to take a little bit of time to go from novice to baller. But that's obvious. We all know that. That's just how shit in this world works. But I'm going to go spam adductors as well as calves. But for you, let's just fucking get in the car, man. Actually, fuck it, I'll take you with me. Let's go do some adductors. Oh my goodness. So, thinking adductors first. I'll just record the 1 set, they're all the same. But I think I'll just sit here for 8. I won't go to like absolute, complete muscular failure. I'll go to a point where I know I'm kind of burning, then I'll pause, then do it again. You know, like I'm really just trying to stimulate my adductors. One benefit, apart from thickening up the inside of your quads, which will fucking kind of, you know, make you look bigger from the front, is having some strong adductors is going to make squatting feel so much more comfortable. Like your adductors are fucking, they play a solid role in terms of your stability. And that's just not me saying that arbitrarily. I've noticed for a fact that when I squat, while doing adductor training at the same time, I do feel a lot more comfortable than if I just, totally skip this. So this is much more, I'd call this not fluff work, but, obviously bodybuilding, all the workouts and all the lifts are like, accessory movements. At least that's what a power lifter would say. But I'd say this for me is kind of an accessory movement. It's not really requiring maximum hype. Like in the sets that I'm not going to record, I'm just going to sit here on my phone in between, have a YouTube video playing at the same time and bust them out. But I do think your adductors need some stimulation with leg day. And whenever I skip them, it's not for an actual reason. It's just because I'm lazy. So just pop a squat here, do as much weight as you can do, and I can just kind of get a burn.
Or what you do is that you say, we're going to raise the taxes on people working now. But those are your really good choices. So, most economists.
Okay. All right. Let's fast forward to 7 more of those, and then we can get some leg calf raises going. Not leg, what am I saying? Calf raises next. So I even just caught myself saying that same arbitrary 8-set number for the adductors. No, I think I did 5. Just as many sets as I felt was good. So same plan here. Now when it comes to the machine leg press calf raise, I do like doing it single leg, but I kind of do a little bit of a funky, well, not funky, but kind of a tricky hand leg placement. Because if you just do these with one leg, your knee's kind of out here prone to wobbliness. And of course, you never want to fucking like hyperextend it on accident or anything like that. So I kind of like butt up my knees together and then reach right around the middle to kind of lock myself in. I'll get a shot from behind just to kind of make it make a little more sense, but I'll probably sit here for a couple until I feel like my calves are fully pumped, plus got a solid amount of stimulation. I'll start with the left leg first, since the left calf is a little weaker. All right.
So we also have our tax that goes to Medicare funds. That goes to CMS. So that pays for Medicare. In fact, usually it's a state. So in either case is that there's money that's and so it operates the same way.
Okay.
So Medicare is a trust fund that they set up because they can do the same thing. They can protect that.
Okay. Let's go a little heavier, but I might do 2 or 3 more of these, and then we can go see if calves look pumped. All right, so I could fucking unzip these pants and do a little conversion into shorts, but then I gotta zip them back on. It's a little bit of a chore. So let's just roll them up. And then today was the theme of today's lifts was like the fucking Fantastic Four. 4 sets of hamstrings, 4 sets of quads, 4 sets of adductors, and then 4 for calves. So you tell me, pumped? We're getting somewhere. I definitely think I could stand to have some crazier calves. But then again, who couldn't? Who couldn't? Unlike arms and chest and back, there aren't really any calf dedicated poses. But let's just save the real post-workout talk for the car. Oh, I forgot to bring my freaking dextrose shake, and I didn't even have my cluster dextrin for the intra today. I left all that stuff in my school apartment instead of bringing it back home with me like a total fool. So instead of the dextrose shake, we got no shake. But when I get home, I'm gonna slam something. Post-workout, my philosophy, which not a philosophy, it's kind of based on legit whatever else, like shit. Post-workout, I just burned a fuck ton of what all my muscles are running on, glycogen, right? Inside of all my quads, I got a little gas tank of sugar water in the most basic terms possible. And by doing this workout, I just reduced the tanks. So I got...
One of the reasons that a lot of people go on Medicaid is because they're they're ill and disabled, which means that you kind of have a lot of effect.
I'm filling back up. So I need to get some carbs in me, as well as some proteins. But protein you really just need throughout the day, pretty even spread. But carbs, I'd say most important near / post and before the workout, right? Pre-workout, I had two like 80 grams of 80 grams of sugar carbs worth of the little Welch's fruit snacks / gushers, which are pretty good. I had that like an hour before the lift. So 200 grams of carbs ish, actually no, 160 pre-lift. And then now I gotta get home and probably make some rice, drink some juice. You know, I need some easily digestible carbs in my system. So what the hell am I doing? Yapping, we gotta get out of here. Let's go fuel up.
Have you met them yet?
Met who? Ghost children possessing giant robots?
All right, so legs fully pumped, calves pumped, adductors stimulated. And yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of an itch in the back of my mind, actually now in the front of my mind, which is telling me, try doing your lift till you're fully pumped and then call it there. I've kind of been thinking that for a while, but I haven't really wanted to implement it or try it just because of what I was saying in the car earlier, how you can kind of get locked into a routine because it's worked for, you know, a little bit of time. So you know that it has the capability of working. It's hard to leave, it's hard to change if what you've been doing has been giving you some results. But I think the enlightened lifter is capable of trying new shit for at least a month and determining whether or not it's legit or bullshit. Nice little rhyme for you. But yeah, so I think the foreseeable lifts are gonna look similar to how they've looked before. I'm still gonna kind of do lifts by feel. I'm gonna pick movements based on what I think is gonna be good. But let's say tomorrow when I do chest, instead of just doing, okay, I've got 3 sets of chest, no, I've got 3 sets of incline bench. Okay, now I want to do a set of incline Smith. Okay, now I'll do 2 sets of cable press. Okay, that means I have 2 more sets left. Let's just do, you know, some pec flies. Instead of doing that, I'm gonna do, like, I can probably imagine this happening. Maybe, you know, 2-3 sets of incline bench. Feel pretty good. And then maybe do 2 sets of cable press. And then, I mean, let's say after those 2 sets of cable press, if I feel like my chest is fully pumped, then I think doing another 2 sets of pec flies may not really do much for me. I feel like that might just be extra fluff work, which I don't really benefit from. So if I'm fully pumped and I feel like it was coupled with a solid amount of, you know, working sets, like I want to get to the point where I just know when to end the lift. But let's say I had a pretty solid chest pump going after 2 sets of chest. I think I'd still kind of be inclined to do at least a few more, just because 2 sets, that doesn't seem like enough. But you know, who knows, maybe I need to fight that little internal, you know, ideology. Hey man, if I'm fully pumped at 2 sets and they were good sets, should I fucking leave? I don't know. That's kind of how crazy I'm trying to think about it right now. But no, I can foresee probably around 4 or 5 range for the next little bit, and I'll see what happens. I will see what freaking happens. So this change from going from my normal 8 to potentially a little bit lower, I'm really just trying to trim the fat. Because let's say I do, you know, let's say I were to have done 4 more sets of leg extensions after that last set today. I definitely would have done a little bit of extra, you know, damage, and my quads would be a little bit more fatigued. But would they grow from that more than just calling it right there when I felt like I was fully pumped? I'm not so freaking sure anymore. So, main idea, if you're a fucking beginner, just lock in with some kind of routine. You know, maybe, I don't know, just look it up. Watch a Jeff Nippard workout split tutorial video. Pick that, just get training experience. You know, I feel like a lot of the shit that I've been saying today, this is like way down the road, or at least maybe a couple years down the road. I don't know. don't let me limit you in terms of your development. But if you're still within your first year or two of lifting, I don't think that you're gonna get much more out of trying to like perfectly optimize your routine. Like, I don't think you should be putting so much mental energy into like, okay, well, what split is the best? Okay, wait, so should I do 6 sets for biceps or should I do 10? Like, I don't think putting a ton of your effort and energy and thought process into that aspect of this whole little setup of muscle growth, I don't think it's really can be very good. You should probably focus more so on just, lock into a routine. Do push-pull legs for a couple of months, do the Arnold split, do whatever. Maybe 8 to 12 working sets, get a pump, get stronger, progressive overload, get comfortable doing, bench, get your form reasonably correct, right? Just training experience is the number one thing benefiting early stage lifters. And then, as you become more and more experienced, you're going to want to kind of pinpoint your routine to your own specific build. And you're not going to be able to do that without training experience. So don't feel like you're missing out if you're not like thinking the exact shit that I'm thinking right now. Like, if you've got a routine where you've been doing some leg extensions, some leg press, some squats, hamstring curls, RDLs, you've been doing 10 sets for hamstrings, 10 for quads, and it's been working for you, then that routine has been working for you, right? Keep pushing it. Go hard. Stick to it. And then over time, think of new ways to kind of improve it. But don't just jump the gun to try and, do some fancy shit just because your favorite so-and-so dude is doing it, Because if you can't stick to a routine for at least a couple of months, then making changes to your split, making changes to your training style, it's really not going to do you any good. I'm not going to notice any difference. I mean, I might feel a little bit less fatigued overall over the next couple of weeks just because I'm not doing so much volume. Maybe I'll feel that. But I'm not going to see any progress differences in the first couple of weeks doing this. You're not going to see any progress differences just starting out lifting in the first couple of weeks, apart from maybe, you won't be as sore as your first lift. It takes time for this shit to go down. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is try to improve your shit, but don't jump the gun on, bailing ship on whatever routine you've been doing. Right? For the real beginner, I say just find a big dude in your gym, potentially your buddy, or if you don't have any friends that lift, just go in there and ask a big dude. Honestly, they've got some good information. Somehow they did it, so they know a little bit of shit you could probably learn. You can go up to them and try to extract some knowledge from you. Now, if they're too intimidating, maybe start with a smaller guy. I know there is a bit of an intimidation factor to going up to fucking the legit beefcake of your gym. But, at the end of the day, I'm sure they wouldn't mind telling you a little tip or two, especially if you kind of ask a little bit of a smart question. Like, dude, I was talking to one, like, anytime. I feel so obsessive. I could talk about just all sorts of different styles of training and different exercises and whatever for, fucking hours. I mean, if I meet like a new gym dude or a new whatever, and we start talking about some shit, he's like, yeah, man, dude, I love the overhead tricep machine. Oh, I tried one at this one gym. Fast forward 2 hours, and then we're still talking about macros and whatever. There's a lot of shit going on. So, again, rooting back to the beginning, the early lifter, you'll be able to talk about all that shit. It just kind of comes with experience. But I think enough of this little experience, routine, ramble, whatever. As long as you go hard, you do some legit working sets, you push yourself, and you finish with a pump, then I think you did something right. At the end of the day, those are probably the key components of muscle growth. Hard sets, end with a pump, eat your protein. You are not gonna be turned the wrong way if you follow those guidelines. So Tomorrow is going to be chest and side delts.
So if you think about
So, cardio in the morning, of course. Cardio in the freaking morning, of course. Bulk, cut, maintain. Even if I had a fucking massive injury, knock on wood, I'm still going to do my cardio. Come on. It's just fucking good for you. No other way to say it than that. Wow, that guy took a long time at the stop sign. This is the intersection where I almost got hit by that one girl. She like pulled out. Well, she stopped, but she was getting ready to pull out right in front of me. I feel like they could probably add another stop sign. I was riding my bike around here one summer. This was back when I was in high school, so that was just a classic move to do. No fucking car in the summer. You just fucking ride your bike around, go to the public pool. But, you know, I saw somebody get T-boned right there. So maybe the civil engineers at the city need to do a little something about that. But that's not for me to say. You know, unless somebody spills it and I can't make it to the gym, that's not going to affect the pump. So who cares? So I'm going to get home, eat some kind of something, go to bed with a full belly, and wake up for cardio. So freaking see you next time after I finish this turn, so I don't freaking crash, goddammit. And the prices
Rated teen.
Because it's going to screw everything else as we go forward. People aren't going to be able to, there's just not going to be enough money in the present trajectory to keep funding Medicare for life or any government program or any private program. Because it's not the private that's better than this. It's not like the private cost on private.
I'm so busy.
All right, don't distract my spotter.
I'm so sorry, man.
I'll let it slide this time.
Why does it cost so much? So we'll go through some different possibilities.
Like on you leave feeling like your biceps are empty, or when you you leave feeling like your biceps are empty, or when you Sam broke the machine.
Sam just broke the machine.
Very sweet.
Could also be
Right, the guy who likes walking is going to walk further than the guy who likes the destination. You understand? And that's it's easy to say. You know, it's easy to say this motivational shit or whatever. It's harder to put it into practice. Yeah.
So how do we get into healthcare? The short answer is not much evidence. So it depends on how you want to look.
Holy cow! 1 million, holy shit! Standard leg day is normal. No, that's fucking badass. Don't think I take it for granted. But I mean, kind of fitting my philosophy. You know, it's nothing special, man. It's just another day to get in the gym and lift. Got some skies on me. Haven't worn that sweatshirt before. Gives a shit. You know, I've never been pregnant or given birth. I'm sure you could already tell that, but there's a freaky pump underneath. Rhetorical, of course. I know there is. Check this guy out.
Here we use ability to pay as
All right, let's go. Oh shit, night jogger.
Then more people go
Some David Goggins level shit.
It's the same reason why
More gains to come.
waiting times is a big issue. As we talked about.
What is this? What do I got here? Finally fucking got dextrose again. God damn it. You know something?
So yes, our waiting times
Something. Oh, too slow.
self-reported 89% report of their health as being good or very good. Or excellent. That's good. On the other hand, there's not that much good.
Let's see Andrew Eubanks hit this weight. mean, this is when you got to do it, when nobody's watching.
Down the list.
I guess I'm a little bit... I guess I can't really say that anymore. You're always fucking watching.
Medical errors were the third highest rate of deaths for medical errors among OECD countries. And so busy. As we discussed, the fatalities of
Sam Sulek, a prominent figure. Why does it seem like every third TikTok on my For You page features Sam Sulek? Stick around to the end of 6 months. Sulek, now 21/7, 2002, in the heart of a upbringing. Growing up,
You've seen the picture of body.
is determining information. From the demanding world of competitive diving,
other countries use the hospital
he began creating content in 2021. It wasn't until January 2023 that he posted his first video on his channel. In these videos, you'll find echoes of the vlog-style content that dominated the YouTube scene in 2018. However, speculation surrounding Sam's potential use of performance-enhancing drugs. While Sam remains tight-lipped on the matter, some fitness influencers believe he's utilizing substances to achieve his extraordinary physique. Critics argue that this potential steroid use tarnishes his rise to fame. Many teenagers on TikTok look up to Sam, but struggle with the idea that they might never attain his physique without resorting to similar means. Additionally, concerns linger about the health risks associated with steroid use, especially at Sam's youthful age of 21. Chapter 5. What's next? In my view, Sam Sulek deserves every bit of praise he receives. He's inspiring millions worldwide to embrace the gym as a lifestyle choice, irrespective of whether he uses performance-enhancing substances. Sam should continue doing what he does best. His influence on teenagers and young adults will result in positive changes in the gym bro culture.
We definitely want for prescriptions. And so when we talk about drugs, is that we'll see
fostering a more inclusive and authentic fitness community. I also hope he keeps dropping those memorable one-liners that frequently go viral on TikTok.
I don't need to get hyped up. All I'm doing is I go in there and I play Clash Royale for 30 minutes. And I get mad when they fucking spam emotes after I lose.
If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, don't forget to show your support.
One of the things in the Inflation Reduction Act from last year was that it gave Medicare the ability to negotiate drug prices. So we'll talk about that. But essentially what it means is that for other countries, if they want to everybody get on your feet. You make me nervous when you're in your seat. Drugs for Canadians is that they'll negotiate the drug prices for the price. In the US, they don't negotiate. Medicare doesn't negotiate the drug prices, which traditionally have. And so here's some examples of what we pay for a certain type of drugs versus what they pay in other countries. So you can see is that we're twice as much for other drugs, sometimes more than twice as much for the same drugs as other countries. It's why people oftentimes will do things like drive to Canada to buy the drugs, or drive to Mexico to buy the medications, because the prices that we pay here. Take off your shoes and pat your feet. We're doing a dance that can't be beat.
Truly blessed. Work hard. Yeah. Tyler Ford, Sean Corbin, and
For capital spending on drugs.
Kay Wang are the officials. Looney guarded by Bagley. Draymond guarded by Beach 2. Steph Curry fires, fills it. Wow. Cade in his face, nearly hit him. Cade in the lane, doubles on the up fake. Bounces. Killian into the corner. Beach 2 fires for three, and it's through. It is so. Gives it up to Marvin Bagley. Plenty of shot clock. It's at 10. Killian to the lane. Killian rises and fires and fills it. Warriors after the foul. Working on a 14-second shot clock. Steph Curry, top side gunning. It goes. Wow. Marvin Bagley looking at the shot clock and says 2. He better shoot it. He does. And drills it. That's a good sign. Bagley screens. Cade drives. Lost it. Wiggins ahead to Steph Curry. Quickly to the basket. Nice job on the drive by Curry. Think of him only as a three-point shooter, and intuitive and smart.
Did it with his offhand, George. You're right. He is as good inside the paint and in that lane at finishing as he is outside the lane.
Brilliant from outside. Looney hands to Steph Curry, wide open three. Short with this one. Rebound, though, to Draymond Green. Thompson to the basket, lays it up, lays it in.
It's got to be over.
I got something that's never been done before. 30 teams, 6 groups, 8 advance, 1 NBA Cup. All leading right here. Jackpot.
Didn't miss too many. These two for three, and it's through. Very confident with the long gun so far in this one. Curry misses from the lane, slapped outside. Klay Thompson has Asar Thompson on him. Heads to the baseline, stops, fires, fills it up. Gary Payton II is in the ball game as well, and the Warriors get a steal. Payton flicked it away to Saric. On the drive, Steph Curry, acrobatic, scores. Looking over there, you see Jalen Durham and Joe Harris. Out in this one. Steph Curry for three, though, and it's through. That's the equalizer. Gives it up to Curry. Steph Curry over Mude. That one is splashed down.
He's putting on a show now. Call plays for him on the floor. If he can get to that offensive glass, he can make his own play call.
12-0 run and a steal for the Warriors. Payton usually makes the steal on the receiving end.
And the Pistons are right there in their back door.
I'll say this, they're not as good when Steph Curry's not in the game. Chris Paul from the corner, launches and connects. A triple. Here's a lob inside to Kuminga from Chris Paul. Another pass for Payton. He missed the shot, but scored on the follow. Sasser thought about it, gave it up to Asar Thompson. Back to Marcus Sasser, and the two-point gun moves Chris Paul to forecourt for Golden State. Klay Thompson from the lane. Off that 1 foot, fires, fills it. Klay Thompson was 10. 7:45 to play in the first. Golden State leads by 5, 40-35. Chris Paul fakes the pass, sticks the shot. Golden State. Leafs do. 3 for the long gun. It goes. Can't dare that man to do that. Marvin is 2-time. Outside the cage. Leafs 2 passes on the shot. Gives to Sasser, and he scores. Steph Curry penetration. Outside for Draymond. Nice job on a save by Draymond Green. Steph Curry to the basket, finger roll, no, tapped up and in by Kevon Looney. Screens for Klay Thompson. Back to Kevon Looney. He'll fire and fill it. Kevon Looney not asked to score much.
Kevon Looney, keep him involved, pay him off for some of those screens he's been setting.
Paid, worked hard to get that shot, but he did for his sake. If he does, get out of that funk. Asar Thompson fires topside, fills it up. Can they get a stop? Draymond Green to the basket, a little too hard off the glass. Looney's there, though, to tap it in.
Pistons is very clever at firming himself for those offensive fouls.
Draymond is his pocket pick. Killian Hayes for a jam.
Yesterday, and they beat him on the front line, George. They punished him inside.
They sure did.
Pistons could have probably had that same opportunity, but they would have needed Duren to do it.
Asar to forecourt, looking for Marvin Bagley. To the basket against Draymond. Hooks no. Flushed on the follow by Asar Thompson.
Second chance scoring number. If this keeps up, the Pistons have got to do better on that defensive glass.
Killian from the corner. Nothing.
You need to stay ahead in business. Use data analytics to do things like speed up prototyping. With the most experience in the cloud, imagine how AWS can transform your business.
How does Taco Bell not have a breakfast taco already? You have all the ingredients. Fluffy eggs.
62 with 7:44 to play in the third. Draymond Green against Isaiah Stewart. Way outside for Steph.
21 second chance points.
A bunch. Marvin Bagley against Saric. Looking for room along the end line and finds it and scores. 4-point lead for the Warriors, 69-65. Steph Curry off the dribble. Knocks it down. He's back in front of him. Cade has to give it up to Sasser. Clock at 10. Inside to Marvin Bagley. Over Draymond. Yes, he hits it.
Smart move to turn around.
Star Thompson though with a swipe to Cade. Cade to the basket. Lays it up and lays it in. Moses Moody. Green from Saric. Back to Saric. She'll launch and connect. A triple for the veteran. Steve Stu boards it. Isaiah Stewart way up. Star Thompson gets to the basket. Scores. Count that, baby. Lead him by 6. Moses Moody off to Payton. Now Sarge trying to get to the basket. And they're going to call blocking foul. Hayes all the way across the floor. Trying to get to the basket. And they're going to call blocking foul. Hayes all the way across the floor to Rhodes. The pass got away to the basket for a quick jam. Gary Payton II against Sasser. Sarge with a screen. Ball to the paint. Nice deep bounce for Sarge for a score. And he has drawn a foul. Marvin Bagley trying to free him with a screen. In the corner to Marcus Sasser. Amude with a last second shot. And he sticks it. Pistons with the basketball, just over 10 minutes left. Cade Cunningham rises at the foul line, fires, fills it up. Now the clock's at 4 for Paul. He'll turn and fire. Off the heel, leaping rebound. Killian Hayes way up to Stanley Amude. Amude to the basket. Hooks on the run. Hits it! Count that baby and a foul. 9 minutes left. Paul to the basket. Scoops. Scores. Steph Curry's back against Sasser. Inside for Kuminga. Kuminga from in front. Fires, fills it. Looney to Chris Paul.
With all his shooting and scoring, Steph Curry probably doesn't get enough credit for how good he is defensively.
He was on that trip.
How disciplined he is defensively.
7 minutes to play. Paul with a bounce into the corner to Steph Curry. Fires, fills it. A triple for Steph Curry. Rebound comes back to Stanley Amude. Marcus Sasser gives it back to Cade. Clock at 10. He will drive it, double clutch it, and score it off the window. Up to Cade. Cade bothered by Payton II. Star Thompson drives into Looney. Good look in reverse, and he hits it. This is with 14 fouls. The Warriors with 3. 4 and 22 to play. Golden State by 2. Steph Curry for 3, and it's through. Chris Paul against Marcus Sasser. A long time Hall of Fame bounce bet against the rookie. Dumps it up over him and in.
Yeah. I saw that coming, George. You probably did too.
Steph Curry with a drive and a scoop and a score. Around and down. They know this is an L. Their 5th in a row. The Warriors score the last 7 points of the ball game to win it.
It becomes a little bit more hard. So I think I would point you towards kind of this reading that I have been reading about the cost conundrum, which is a New York article from a few years ago. It's still out there. And which the idea there is that, well, maybe it is that, that we just love technology so much that we're going to go through that. We're the ones who are just demanding. And what this points out is that this looks at the difference between 2 different cities. It looks at Allen, Texas, and San Antonio. And it looks at the difference in terms of what the cost is, because one's one of the most expensive places in the country, and the other is not one of the most expensive places in the country. And what you see from it is that a lot of the technology, the problems arise when doctors' groups own the testing facilities. Because when doctors do from testing facilities, then it means that if you refer for a test, you actually get money from the test as well. And so a lot of the overuse of testing occurs because there's these perverse incentives whereby, you know, if I go through and I send someone over to get tested, is that it's helping the company that I own. So this is where, you know, kind of the sacred profane thing comes in. Because if you ask, well, is it good for the person to get tested? It's like, well, okay, maybe, right? Maybe it's good, marginally good for them to get tested. But, and so there is like a reason why. But do they really need to be tested? Well, they wouldn't be tested in other countries. There'd be no clinical, other countries they would say that, well, it doesn't meet the criteria where you need to be tested. So they have different criteria, but that doesn't exist. And then expensive use of treatments. So we use more MRIs. We have many more cesareans than other countries. So there's also this idea that we have just more expensive types of technology that's used. So read the cost conundrum. And we're out of time, so I'll stop.
Yo, what's up, guys? Just before the video starts, I just want to say, please use code.
Oh, no, let's see if we can answer some questions. Okay, let's see. So this one. So what's the answer? A, B, C, or D? A. What's the answer to this one? Haven't got there yet, that's going to be B. So just let you know, it's B. This one? Yep. It's about 10% of prescription drugs. Yeah, because remember it was like about 35% was for hospital, about 15% for doctors, and it's about 10% for prescription. Will this answer this one? I'm going to say B. B, it's all of them. This one? A, B, C, D, B, because they can estimate the number of people